Hi, I'm Dawn, and today I'm touring Charleston, South Carolina. I love learning about the history of a place, so I took a bit of a walking tour around town. Charleston was founded by English settlers and named after King Charles II. Charleston has always had religious tolerance, which brought settlers from all over Europe. One of the monikers for Charleston is actually the Holy City, and for many years there was a law that nothing could be built taller than the church steeples. Even in the Holy City, the accepted way to settle a dispute was through a duel. So this is Dueling Alley. But it didn't take long for them to set up other forms of law. The intersection of Broad Street and Meeting Street are known as the four corners of the law because there are buildings representing federal law, state law, city law, and God's law. I have to admit, I don't think about Charleston very much, but it was a really big deal in the 18th century. There seems to be some controversy around town about whether it was the third or fourth richest city in the 18th century, meaning the 1700s. But either way, it was a pretty big deal, ranking right up there with Philadelphia and Boston and perhaps New York. Charleston is known for something called single houses, meaning that when viewed from the street, they're 1 room wide and 2 rooms deep. I got to go inside one of them and see the typical layout, with the 2 rooms on each floor with a hallway and staircase in the middle. The owner decorates it in colonial antiques and even had the tool upstairs to tighten the ropes in his bed. If the ropes are not tight, the mattress sags, leading to the expression, sleep tight. I got to have a short conversation with the current resident. Whose house is this originally?
Thomas Elf. He was Charleston's best-known furniture maker, an Englishman born in London in 1719. He came here in the 1740s, made furniture until his death in 1775.
Thank you very much. So nice to meet you, and thank you for letting us into your home. Thank you. You can see an example of Thomas Elf cabinetry in the lectern and pulpit at St. Michael's Church. St. Michael's is the church that's at the four corners of the law, representing God's law. Most of the colonial homeowners also owned plantations, which back then grew rice instead of cotton. Lots of diseases could be picked up from the standing water in the rice fields, so at certain times of year, everyone moved into town. When you look at these homes, they actually really look like urban plantations, complete with a big house and several outbuildings, such as the kitchen, which was separated from the house due to the risk of fire, an outhouse, a carriage house, and slave quarters. If you didn't have enough room to house all your slaves, you put them up in a boarding house such as this one. In fact, this one was used as the basis of the musical Porgy and Bess by George Gershwin. Now that kitchens and bathrooms have been moved inside the houses and there's no need for slave quarters, the yards have been converted into beautiful gardens that are only partially viewable from the street. The gardens are hard to see because they were once the unsightly area where the work of the urban plantations took place, plus many of the homes were designed with high walls that separate their private space from the endless stream of strangers on the street who'd come in through Charleston's port. Every time it was like discovering a hidden treasure when I could catch a glimpse of some of these gardens. Charleston has always been a shipping town, and even today they rank right after Hong Kong with the amount of shipping that comes through their ports. One person explained it to me that the port has always been the place where new information comes in, new people come in, and of course all the shipments. So to them it's always been the information superhighway. The ironwork in Charleston is beautiful. When there would be a fire in a poorer part of town, the ironwork would survive, and so they would just take it out and put it onto another building. So some of the ironwork is actually on its 3rd or 4th home. Thanks for joining me in Charleston.